Hey everybody, it's me. This is Rewind and Reload. I am one of your hosts, I guess your host for this week, Tim, and with me are my good friends and compatriots, John and Quentin.
Hello.
Hey.
Good intros, guys. I love you.
Join Pikachu Ash in the game. The Mandalorian is great in the new series, and let's check out what's new in the world of pop culture with your hosts, John, Tim, and Quentin, and a podcast we call Rewind
and Reload.
This week is going to be a little bit different. I originally had planned on something else, but I decided literally 12 hours, less than 12 hours before we recorded, that I was going to do something completely different. So here we are. But first, we're going to talk a little bit about our week in pop culture news, and I probably ramble a little bit about something, I'm sure.
I love a good ramble, so I'll go first, I guess.
Okay.
Your name's first.
Is it? Okay.
Alphabetically.
You made this list and put yourself first.
I just made it.
Oh, and alphabetically. Okay. That's true.
I just made a template that we can...
And we've copied and pasted that template about 30 times now.
Yeah. No, my week was all right.
Hopefully this isn't too loud.
Yeah, I was just messing. I actually was just messing with my audio because I realized that like I had the record volume like way too high and I was peaking, so I had to turn it down a little bit.
I peaked, but I'm not sure if it was me cracking this can or if it was me grunting in exertion from trying to crack the can without making a noise.
No, my week was pretty good. Been working a lot, but I also have a lot of time, and now my cat's meowing. That's great. But
that's fine.
I did so today. I was grocery shopping, and I just wanted to bring this up because I thought it was funny, and I don't know why my brain works this way. Okay, so this guy was in front of me in line, and I went to the self checkout, and I'm checking out, and he walks over, and he kind of like looks at the machine, and then he kind of backs up a little bit, and he looks at the gum, and then he looks at his watch. And looks at the gum and looks at his watch. And then my brain was just like, do I have time for, a piece of gum today? Or do I just want stanky ass breath? And that's all I could think. It was like, this guy was just like, do I have time for nice breath?
He had to fit that going into his busy schedule.
Yeah. I was just like,
he's a busy businessman.
Maybe he just brushed his teeth and you gotta wait X amount of time before you chew gum after you brush your teeth. So maybe he was waiting. He was counting down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, that's true. Because if you brush your teeth and then you go straight for some minty ass gum, you're crying, tears.
Exactly.
Oh no, I wasn't even thinking that. I was thinking he had to wait his self-imposed half hour before having sugar, so the guilt didn't get to him.
Have 5 calories of sugar.
Yeah,
but
that's a lot.
Yeah. Besides that,
that was when I was doing
today,
very
was
briefly.
You know what? What?
No, I was just gonna say when I was briefly did keto a couple of years ago, sugar-free gum was my go-to because it just tricked me into thinking I was eating something.
It's like drinking water or coffee. It just kind of takes your brain. Makes you kind of trick
I feel like coffee does it because it's a stimulant.
Well, it's like a appetite suppressant where it fills your stomach until you have to pee.
Yeah, it's a stimulant.
I thought it was
meth,
just
and it makes you
caffeine
think
was
you're
appetite suppressant.
Yeah, like meth.
Like meth.
Or Adderall.
Or a lot of things. I was gonna say eating a balanced breakfast.
I've never
I'm going to say most stimulants probably are appetite suppressors, but I have so little experience in that realm that I have no idea.
I've never.
This is just things that I've gleaned from watching like crime procedurals.
Now I kind of want to.
Anything.
I kind of want to take some Coke and see if I get hungry. Just to
Anything
see.
you need to learn about drugs, you can learn from watching Breaking Bad.
That's what I've been told, but I've watched that show 3 times and I still don't know much.
Fair enough.
I just know that he put a little bit of chili powder in there to give it a little bit of extra kick.
Yeah, that's really all you need to do. How was your week?
I guess I'll talk about my week.
Let's
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
It was, I have written here, sleepy depression make Timmy go hee hee hoo hoo. So that pretty much explains my week of...
Tim is returning to Monkey.
I wish I was returning to Monkey. That would make my life so much better. Yeah, I don't know. It's been fine. I've just been playing video games. I've been rewatching The Wire,
What
which is an
brought
undertaking
this?
in and of itself.
What brought this on? Like, why? Why The Wire?
Because it's the best show ever.
I've never watched it. I don't know.
It's got a young Michael B. Jordan in the first season.
That's kind of cool.
I didn't recognize it was him until like I looked up the actor or looked up the character because I was like, I wanted to know something, and I won't say what because spoilers. And I was like, oh, this is Michael B.
How
Jordan.
old is that show? I think you can spoil it.
2002.
I think you can spoil it. I think it's past
Yeah,
its
okay, he gets shot.
expiration date.
He gets killed by his 2 friends.
Yeah, it's like almost 10 years. I think if.
It's over almost 20.
Oh
It's
yeah!
almost-
Holy shit! Yeah. I mean, I was still right. Hey, I was still right.
It's
He
still-
was-
it's still-
You technically weren't wrong, I guess.
The first season is a huge weird like cultural thing. I think I talked about this like last night in a voice chat with Quentin, but like it was made in 2002, so it's like directly after 9/11, and they even like talk about that because they go to the FBI to like talk about wiretaps, and the FBI's like, unless your drug dealers are named Osama, we can't help you. And I was like, oh.
Okay.
Also, there's like a lot of like, not, I wouldn't say like anti-police, but there's a lot of like the police like showing like the police are not the good guys sometimes, which was surprising for post 9/11 America.
My favorite, speaking of 9/11, my favorite 9/11 fact is the
Quentin's face.
How do you start a sentence with my favorite 9/11 fact?
Yeah, it's great, right? My favorite 9/11 fact is that the original Spider-Man poster with Tobey Maguire had the Twin Towers in it. And you can find some, and they're worth a lot of money. But since they were filming and those posters came out, 9/11 happened, so they pulled them all out of theaters, re-edited them so that
there's a couple things like
so
that.
like you didn't see the Twin Towers anymore because it was like in his glass, like in the reflection of his
Yeah, I remember
lens.
that.
Yeah.
And so they re-edited it so that wasn't there, and then redistributed it because they thought that people wouldn't go to the Spider-Man because the Twin Towers, and shit. I'm like, I feel like
They
that's
did
not true. Like, I feel like you just did that.
Yeah.
No one would have cared.
They did something similar in Metal Gear Solid 2. Metal Gear Solid 2 came out in 2002, I want to say. And there was a scene in Manhattan involving the Twin Towers, and they had to cut that.
You had to be careful around that time.
Especially as like a foreign company, like I feel like it would have been like, especially a Japanese company, people would have been like, they're doing it again.
There. Could you imagine all the fucking redneck gamers?
Easily,
that are
yes.
just like, Japan.
Because those are the people we grew up
It's
with.
like,
Yes,
Japan was actually
easy-
behind 9/11. You can tell because of Metal Gear Solid. They admitted it.
Connected. It's you can connect the dots yourselves.
Co-genius
Look into
Co-genius made 9/11.
Look into it.
Holy shit.
What about you, Quinn? How was your week?
It was pretty good. So have you guys heard of a show called Manifest? It's like
Maybe.
give me mad Lost vibes, right? But so this show's fucking insane. It's really good. Me and Hannah binged it in like less than a week. It's got 3 seasons or whatever. So it was supposed to have 6 seasons. And then they just canceled it halfway through.
Was it a Fox show?
So it just I think it was NBC, CBS, NBC. So it just ends on this ridiculous cliffhanger. And it just leaves you feeling completely empty. And then Loki finished today, and
I haven't seen the finale.
I don't want to say anything, but
Neither have I.
I
mean,
Everything I've seen online, I haven't seen like anything about it, but
there's going to be a season 2.
yeah,
I mean, like
I
I'm
saw
pretty
that.
sure, like every
Yeah.
it leaves it very open for season 2, and I'll leave it at that. I don't know how I feel about it.
I don't know anything
I feel
about
very
it. All I know is
empty.
online, I've been seeing people be like it's divisive at best.
I saw like a spoiler for it, so I think I know who the big baddie is at the end, but it's whatever. And
Is it Taskmaster again? The lamest reveal from that movie?
No.
The real big baddies were the friends we made along the way.
But yeah, I haven't watched it yet. I was gonna watch it probably tomorrow.
That's only kind of I guess that's technically a spoiler.
But the real baddies are the friends we made along the way.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I can't. Yeah. All right.
I was just trying to meme.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I fucked up.
Yeah. You had to make us think.
I mean, considering. Never mind. We'll talk about it next week or something.
Yeah, next episode.
Hopefully by the time this is up, everybody will have watched it.
If it's-
I'm sure.
I really don't completely know what you are saying, but if my theory is correct, we kind of knew. Like,
What
we'll talk
episode are
about
you on, Tim? Or have you watched any of it?
I've watched it up until I haven't watched the finale.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I was really surprised that like the Loki who has like the campaign button wasn't a more prominent character, considering he was like the fucking character splash for the show. For a
Yeah.
while.
I was kind of surprised that he was in there for such a short period of time as well.
Yeah, he just shows up and then he's gone. I don't feel like that's a spoiler. So
Gator Loki is my favorite.
yeah.
I'm still convinced that he's
Yeah,
not
that's like
actually
the-
a Loki, though.
No, he's from Pet Avengers.
I know, I'm kidding.
See, is that word spider pig
Spider
spider?
Ham.
Yeah, that one.
And yeah, it's from that. And then like
Frog.
yeah, Thor is a frog.
Did you see that he voiced
That's
Throg
a good one.
in Loki? You know when they're so they're in the cellar.
Where was
Like
Throg?
this isn't like this is mild
did I miss
spoilers. This is
Throg?
mild spoilers. So they're in the cellar and they're panning down through the earth. And there's like this little jar with something jumping around. That's Throg. It's a little frog and you can pause it and like see it. And I saw it, so I like went
Gotcha.
back, I
There's
paused
also,
it, I was
like,
like, holy
a
shit. And then the
hammer.
next day it was confirmed. Yeah. And the next day it was confirmed. And they ended up confirming that Chris Hemsworth was voicing him too. Like screaming in that like high pitched voice.
That's funny.
Which I thought that was hilarious
like
because
that.
See, it went by so fast when I was watching it. I didn't know what it was. I just
didn't-
assumed it was like a fucking cockroach Loki or something.
yeah, I was like, I have to rewind and know what that is. I'm like, it's got to be something.
I
Like
didn't
knowing
think
Marvel.
about it, honestly.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Um,
My entire week has just been me being kind of disappointed by TV, but also not. Like the real friends
Fair enough.
were the friends we made along the way. Amen. So you guys got news?
Oh shit, there was something I forgot. Oh, I guess it's a good time as any to say that this week was originally going to be an episode about Nick Cage, which I might do later. But the Amazon Tiger King show has been officially canceled,
Oh,
and Nick Cage will no longer be playing Joe Exotic.
Wait, what?
Did you not hear about that? I could have
No.
swore we talked
No.
about this.
I'm so sad.
I think it just happened, right? Like yesterday or something?
No,
Or are you talking about
yeah,
the
the
show
show
in
in
general?
general. You knew that they were going to make a show, right, Quentin? Like a live action, like recreation. Maybe.
What? Why? I don't understand. Like, it's already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're gonna make like a weird biopic, and then I guess Amazon shelved it. And like I don't remember what event he was at, but Nick Cage it was like, yeah, that's not happening anymore.
Because no one has any interest in it anymore.
Yeah, no.
Is-
Just go watch the movie Primal. It's basically the same story of a guy abusing native wildlife, except there's a weird. I think I've talked about it's a Nick Cage movie, and there's just like it feels like a movie that was cut up and then like put back together as like a playground puzzle. Like it makes sense overall, but there are just scenes that like come out of nowhere, and then there are characters who leave for a good half an hour and then come back.
Like a lot of the
It's very
lot of
strange.
the Nick Cage movies recently.
Yes.
Did you? Yeah, I
Willy's
was just gonna
Wonderland is a
say Willy's
gem.
Wonderland.
The man doesn't say a fucking word for an hour and a
And it
half.
just grunts and drinks soda.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I wish I could get an acting gig like that.
I seriously think it was just a shitty script, and they were like, "Let's get Nick Cage, or sell it off of Nick Cage."
I didn't think it was like a bad movie. It's not great, like by any means. It was
No.
entertaining though. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I think I don't remember what I rated it, but it wasn't like a horrible rating.
Yeah. It was an entertaining movie. Not. It could have been better, or they could have just
Give it
not
a
done
6.5 out of 10. I haven't seen it, but that's my
Yeah.
rating.
I gave it 2 stars and said this isn't a quote unquote good film. But like then I talked about why I liked it.
Yeah. Which I feel like most of the movies I watch, like Army of the Dead, not a good movie, but it was entertaining.
I haven't seen it, but I have seen the Tig Notaro scenes, and that's fucking hilarious.
It was
that they just completely green screened her into the movie because Chris D'Elia got canceled like halfway through
Yep.
production.
and it was entertaining. But it wasn't good. Like at the end I was like, eh.
Yeah, I've heard the ending just is like, okay,
Like you could see it coming.
Like,
You could
this
see it
happens.
coming from a mile away, honestly. You're like, I know how this is gonna end. It's whatever. Like halfway through the movie, they pretty much gave away the ending.
I mean it's a Hack Snyder film,
Yeah.
so
I would say of his
Uh,
movies, it was probably, I don't know, definitely in the top couple. Like I feel like it would be like for me, for Zack Snyder, it would be like the Zack Snyder cut Justice League, Army of the Dead, 300, and then everything else at the very bottom with a big gap in between.
I don't think I would put Snyder Cut that high.
No.
That movie's fucking. Granted, I don't like any of Zack
I'm
Snyder's movies. Basically,
I'm saying,
Like,
oh, you know what?
300 I thought was cool.
The
Watchmen I'd probably put at the top just
I
because
forgot
like,
about.
as fucked up and weird as that movie is, like it's fine.
Yeah, I forgot about Watchmen, and then I forgot of Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, Dawn of the Dead's an
both of
okay
those would
movie.
definitely be before Schneider Cut.
Not Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch. I mean, like when I was a teenager.
That's a joke. That's
Yeah,
a joke.
okay,
Don't think
okay.
I'm being serious
I'm
about
just like when I was a teenager, I was into it, but then I realized why I was into it, and then
yeah. Mm-hmm. Same.
rewatching it, I was like, wow, this movie is really all over the place. and not good.
It's just a weird extended like allegory for sexual assault written by a fucking 30-year-old white guy who ends the movie with the girl getting a fucking
Lobotomy.
What do you call it? Lobotomy, yeah. So none of the movie matters.
Oh.
Have you ever
Okay.
watched Sucker Punch?
Yeah.
No.
It's
I don't
good.
watch movies very often.
We need to start.
Unless they have.
See, that's the thing, right?
We need to start doing movies that Quentin has never seen before. That me and you have seen, Tim, and do
You could
movie,
literally
do
do,
movie reviews on them, and just watch him be super disappointed in some of them.
98% of movies that you guys have watched, I probably have not seen.
We could do a series called Quentin Hasn't Seen It.
I mean, I watch a lot of not shitty movies. I watch a lot of shitty movies, but I also watch a lot of old shit because HBO just has TMC on it. So, I just watch whatever fucking. They have every old Godzilla movie on there. They have the what's his name? I can't think of his name now. It's this very influential Japanese director, and I can't think of his Akira Kurosawa. They have all of his films, and then but anyway. We're at 21 minutes. I don't know how long this is going to take because some of it's more detailed than the rest. So let's get an ad and get into it. Okay. So there's a link for you boys to get to the bracket here because we are doing what I've been calling the first annual Midwest Cryptid Smackdown, where I'm going to give you guys talk about a bunch of cryptids from throughout the Midwest, and we're going to pair them off and then say which one is cooler for whatever reason. Doesn't have to be which one would win a fight. I don't give a shit about that. Just which one's cooler, which one is the coolest legend. And you're going to see a lot of these are there's not much of a legend. In typical Midwest fashion, it's kind of just something that someone made up.
No, cryptids are real. All of these, everything we were going to talk about
I tried,
tonight is real. I've seen all of them.
Yeah, so when I was writing this outline, I tried to do that shtick, and it quickly faded because you'll see why. I also have this weird bit I wrote in because of a joke Quentin made in our group text about how I was going to do something a little bit of weird, a little bit of wacky, and how I was going to enter into a loving, passionate romance with Mothman and see if it's possible for our species to interbreed and create the ultimate life form. Because with their future sight and the primal physicality of humanity, we could be the ultimate warriors.
What would it be called?
Which kind of leads into the idea of a smackdown.
Would it be called Mothman Man or Man Mothman?
Mothman Man.
Okay.
I'm more Man Mothman.
So fair enough. So like I said,
This isn't part of the bracket yet, John.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
yeah, we're not in the East Coast. We're not
No,
in
yeah, no,
the East
I know,
Coast,
I know.
okay? We're not talking about Virginia cryptids like that one that's just a dude. I was on the cryptid wiki today, and there's a West Virginia cryptid that is just a fucking creepy dude who shows up sometimes. I don't remember his name.
Okay.
I gathered some cryptids from the Midwest. Oh wait, I've already said all this. So yeah, it's not necessarily a power level matchup. You can judge it however you want. If it's cooler, if you think it would win the fight, if you think it has the most kissable monster lips, we're playing it real fast and loose with this one, like most of my episodes.
Pretty much most of our episodes
also
anymore. I mean,
it's because it's
it
more
is.
fun.
We're getting wacky. We're getting wild.
I think it's
like a slip and slide.
it's more natural for us. I feel like even when we're together and we're not getting recorded, we're just fast and loose people. We're just like, fuck it, let's go. Let's talk about crazy shit.
Yeah, dude. I did 5 years of academic paper. Well, more than that if you count high school, and I don't want to do them for this. So,
No,
I
just want to
in
hang out.
school, so yeah.
I just want to hang out with my
Feel
friends and talk about weird shit.
exactly. Also, if it's for everyone listening, if it seems like there's a lot of Indiana cryptids on here, that's because there are. This list originally started as purely Indiana, and then I realized there's not enough to make a full SmackDown, so I branched out. So, I was gonna do a funny, let's get ready to rumble bit, but I don't want to go find the sound effects, so we're just gonna.
Can I try?
Go to the.
Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna do it farther away from the mic though, because I don't want it to peak like super bad.
Oh yeah.
Ready? Let's get ready to rumble!
Hell yeah.
That was really good. That was something.
Do you guys know that was like two brothers who did that, and then they were like rivals for some reason?
No.
At least that's what YouTube led me to believe. Because I tried to look for the "Let's get ready to rumble" sound effect, and there was one anyway. There was two. It was like two brothers who did it or something. So yeah, each of these has a link that you can click and see a picture of it.
I already got them up. I'm ready.
Some of them are better than others for sure. So the first round one, we have the Beast of Bray Road versus Melonheads. And we'll talk about Melonheads and how I kind of think it's problematic, but... first up is the Beast of Bray Road from Wisconsin. It's often described by alleged witnesses as large, between 6 and 7 feet, with a humanoid body covered in fur or hair, which is kind of the same thing, so I'm not sure why Wikipedia listed them as two different things. And the head resembling a wolf or a bear. It's been reported to be seen moving as both quadrupedal and bipedal. First sighted in 1936, but the main reports came out of the 80s, with witnesses reporting the beast had made contact with their vehicles and left long scratch marks on it. One witness even reported hitting something that had crossing Bray Road, getting out of the vehicle to check what they hit, and was chased back into their vehicle by a large wolf-like creature with red eyes. Other witnesses have described seeing a large wolf running through cornfields and on all fours during daylight hours. Another witness even reported seeing it chase a deer. Logical explanations include a bear with mange and simply a large dog or wolf.
Nah, not possible.
I don't think so.
Nah, nope. Those explanations don't make any sense, actually. So
that's the Beast of Bray Road.
It's also real.
And next is Melonheads, which I think is maybe a little bit problematic. It feels kind of icky.
I don't like them. You know what they look like? Is a baby version of what's his name? Baraka from Mortal Kombat.
Baraka? Yeah, kinda. With like hydrocephalitis, yeah.
I thought you were going to say Barack Obama. And I was like, oh my.
Come on.
So like I said, it felt kind of icky. It felt kind of icky to put this on the list, but there's legends across multiple states, and as you'll see, they kind of become badasses in the legend, so it's fine, I think. So in Michigan, the legend goes that the Melonheads were a group of children suffering from hydrocephalus, a condition where too much cerebrospinal fluid builds up in the skull. They were released into the woods from the Junction Insane Asylum after years of emotional and physical abuse, causing them to become feral. Note, the asylum never existed according to the Allegan County Historical Society, although there was a prison nearby. Other versions say that the children devised an escape plan from the abusive doctor, killed him, cut him up into pieces, and hid them around the building, causing both the spirits of the children and the doctor to haunt the building. Another legend from Ohio, primarily associated with the Cleveland suburb of Kirtland. According to the lore, the Melonheads were orphans under the watch of a figure known as Dr. Crow. There's a couple spellings for that, or Dr. Melonhead. Okay. The doctor performed unusual experiments on the children, causing them to develop large hairless heads and malformed bodies. Some claim the children were already suffering from hydrocephalus, and that the Crow injected even more fluid in their brains. Eventually, the children killed Crow, burned the orphanage to the ground, and retreated to the surrounding forest where they stole and fed on babies.
Okay.
So, like I said, it's kind of gross because it's just kids with the like real condition being stigmatized, but they did kind of like kill their abuser in both cases, so I thought that was cool. And I mean, the baby eating part isn't cool. But how else are they gonna get that adrenochrome? You know what I'm saying?
So I feel like the obvious winner here is the Beast of Bray Road, because are melonheads really even cryptids?
Yeah, they're legend, they're creatures that, well,
But like I'm saying, but like even in their origin story, they're just like normal kids.
Yeah.
I
Whereas
see where you're coming from here.
a cryptid is something otherworldly
It can be.
in a sense.
I
thought it was something from our world that we just don't understand.
would say that the Beast of Bray is more of a cryptid than the melonheads. And that's why I would say that wins.
Okay.
So yeah, beast, boom. 2 for beast.
All
On
right,
to the
Beast
next
has progressed
round.
to the next round. The next
The
round
Beast is the winner.
Let's see. We got the mill race monster and the mud mermaids. Great.
Okay.
Both of these are Indiana cryptids.
Yeah, okay.
The mill race monster was a beast supposedly seen in Columbus, Indiana in 1974. It launched what some consider to be the largest monster hunt in U.S. history, and it's been described as bipedal, between 6 and 7 feet, and having a mossy green appearance. On November 1st, 1974, the police department of Columbus received reports from at least 2 sets of witnesses who claimed to have seen and even possibly been attacked by a large green-skinned monster by the water inside Mill Race Park. The first report involved 4 unnamed young women. At about 3 p.m., one of the women spotted the monster between 2 trees. The group escaped and reported their encounter to the police, stating that they'd seen a, quote, green, hairy, and large monster. The second report came from an unrelated pair of women who were supposedly unaware of the first incident. Tyra Cataline, one of the women, came forth in 2014 on the show Monsters and Mysteries in America. And in 2015, 41 years after the incident, she also told her story to the local Fox News station. She's quoted as saying, "It was something, I don't know what it was, but it wasn't somebody wearing a costume." Cataline's report also described the monster as having slime on his face and having large claws. The women claimed to have been attacked and had scratch marks on their car with a malodorous stench. These 2 incidents launched some more sightings and eventually a full-on influx of amateur monster hunters and thrill seekers coming to the park, leading the local law enforcement to shut down the park at night to avoid any injuries and damage to the property. There's also a story that some guy was like, yeah, we were hunting for it, we got chased, and then later on he was like, I think that might have just been a dude with green blankets and like a green wig on.
No, it was the monster.
I don't like how similar he looks to the creature of the Black Lagoon.
We'll get there, bud, because as it turns out, Indiana is not creative.
Because that's, as soon as I saw the picture, I was like, that just looks like somebody got a creature of the Black Lagoon like Halloween costume and was scaring the shit out of people.
Oh, there's a case later on that is straight up just.
I mean, it would make sense too. Because it's November 1st was the sighting. So it's the day after Halloween. So someone was probably just fucking around.
That's true. But that's not what happened. This is a real cryptid. They saw
it's real. We're not trying to prove if they're real or fake. We're trying to decide which the best one is. John,
yeah, we're not Jonathan Frakes on fact or fiction.
I mean, that's fair, but like that's also, if I can believe it more, I'll vote for that one.
Okay,
that's my.
Well, let's see how you feel about the mud mermaids of Vevey,
I do
Indiana.
like the picture of them. I will say that.
I don't know if this is a picture of them. All I know is the picture that I got. There's some, and I'll say this about some of the pictures that I've put in the doc for you guys. If you know, maybe you guys know this just about me generally, I love nothing more than badly rendered fucking cryptid pictures, and there's some good ones.
It's the best.
So, the mud mermaids were seen in the year 1891.
Yo.
They were apparently seen lurking on the banks of the Ohio River near Vay, Indiana. They were described as vaguely humanoid, amphibious, and completely hairless, with webbed hands, sharp claws, fins, pointed ears, and jagged teeth. The Cincinnati Enquirer said, that, quote, "The beast is about 5 feet in length. Its general color is yellowish. The body between the 4 legs resembles that of a human being. Back of the hind legs, it tapers to a point. The extremities resemble hands, are unwebbed, and furnished with sharp claws. It is devoid of hair. Its ears are sharp and pointed, and stand up like those of a dog." This one's just kind of like, there's not a lot here. There's no real eyewitnesses other than like a fucking Confederate captain from Kentucky who I really don't feel like giving the time of day, given which side he was on. But he apparently had sketches, but I couldn't find those. And the only thing is, like, there's like an article from 1891 in the Cincinnati Enquirer, and that's it. But no, they're real. They were out there. They were sunbathing in the mud.
I mean, my vote goes to the Mud Mermaids on this one.
I'd say the Mud Mermaids because they're a little more original.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, feel free to disagree with each other because I will tie break if that happens.
No.
Yeah, so far we're on the same page, I think.
Okay, Mud Mermaids it is.
Mill Race Monster is just like anybody can make that up.
Yeah, like it could easily be a person in a costume. Like it would be harder to recreate this.
The Mud Mermaids.
Original idea.
Nobody in
older.
1891 was just walking around in the mud with a mermaid tail on. Those were definitely there.
I mean, we'll talk about an old friend of the podcast who turns out to be not real in like the 1890s. We'll get there.
Okay.
You'll know when you hear him.
If it's our old friend, he's real, and I'm not going to let you prove me wrong.
Oh, I remember.
Okay, well.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll get there. Mud Mermaids wins round 2. So round 3 we have the Pukwudgie and okay, never mind. I thought I clicked out of the document. And the Nain Rouge, or the Red Dwarf of Detroit. So first up is the Pukwudgie. Also, well, I don't know why I put also spelled here in an audio podcast, but it translates from a Native American phrase that means little man of the woods that vanishes.
Oh, I already like this one. He's just a
It's
little
a
guy.
human-like... It's just a little guy. A human-like creature from Wampanoag folklore, said to be about 2 to 3 feet tall. According to Native American legend, Pukwudgies can appear and disappear at will, lure people to their deaths, use magic, launch poison arrows, and create fires. Native Americans believe that Pukwudgies were once friendly to humans but turned against them and are now best left alone. And according to lore, a person who annoyed a Pukwudgie would become subject to nasty tricks by it, or would subject to being followed and having trouble caused for them. They were known to kidnap people, push them off cliffs, attack their victims with short knives and spears, and use sand to blind their victims.
Pocket sand.
I was just gonna, God damn it, you beat me to it.
They, apparently they also appear in the, like, extended Harry Potter universe, but a lot of people seem to be mad at Rowling for that. And I'm not saying that Rowling's not a shitty person, but, like, talking about a magical creature in the context of a magical world doesn't seem all that bad to me. Anyway.
Yeah. I feel like a world full of cryptids, it's not that bad to pull one in.
Yeah. People weren't getting upset when, like, that weird Chinese dragon thing in the movie.
Yeah.
So.
It'd be like, I mean, I feel like looking at the picture of this, if it was like in the Witcher world, I'd be like, this is fucking dope. But like,
oh yeah,
so I don't know why
I think
it'd
it's
be different for.
I think it's definitely in some like fantasy games.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's cool.
But I'm not sure.
I like this. This one's gonna be a hard round.
Oh,
It's like a hedgehog.
yeah.
Goblin.
Also to really make it a hard round, I found a forum post from fucking xmormon.com asking if anyone thought it was possible that Joseph Smith was visited by a puckwudgie, as it was equally as likely as him being visited by all the holy figures he claimed to be visited by, which was very funny to me.
100%.
I love
This
that.
is. I'm almost certain if I looked hard enough, I could prove that Joseph Smith was visited by a puckwudgie. Because after it was probably so. Would it have been before or after the angel visited him and told him all like the rules of God and all that?
I don't remember exactly what the forum poster said, but they were like, it was basically on the grounds of like, who's to say it wasn't? He was just misinterpreting that they were angels. And it was like an older forum, so it really just felt like edgy people who had grown out of the church and were just like, but this could be true too.
It's equally as likely.
I'm gonna say that Joseph Smith was definitely visited by a puckwudgie.
Yeah, I mean, now knowing this, the possibility, I would love to say that's true. So I'm gonna say that's
I think
true.
it's more fun to believe that. So I'm gonna believe it.
It's more fun to believe that than he was just like a predator who looked into a hat and made shit up.
Yes.
So next up is the Nain Rouge, which is, like I said, French for red dwarf. It's also called the Demon of the Strait. The Nain Rouge is a cryptid from Detroit whose appearance is said to presage misfortune. According to some sources, Antoine de La Motte Cadillac, founder of Detroit, was told by a fortune teller to appease the Nain Rouge, but when he encountered the creature, he smacked it with his cane and shouted, "Get out of my way, you red imp!"
Oh my god!
Well, that's
Why
dumb.
would you do
And
that?
as consequence, a string of bad luck befell Cadillac. He was charged with abuse of power and reassigned to Louisiana. He later returned to France, where he was briefly imprisoned, and eventually lost his fortune.
There might be some truth to that.
I'm not gonna say that the auto industry failing, whatever year that was because of the Nain Rouge, but I could almost guarantee it was.
We'll see that he shows up in modern times too. The Nain Rouge is described as a dwarf, quote, very red in the face with a bright glistening eye. Instead of burning, it froze. Instead of possessing depth, it emitted a cold gleam like a reflection from a polished surface, bewildering and dazzling all who came within its focus. And with, quote, a grinning mouth displaying sharp, pointed teeth, complete this strange face. Other accounts describe the Nain Rouge as a small creature with red-black fur covering an animal's body, but the face of an old man with blazing red eyes and rotten teeth. So it was apparently seen before the 1967 Detroit riots and before a big ice storm that happened in '76. It's something of a local celebrity in Detroit with a festival, and they even have like a festival in its honor, and there's like beers and wines named after it. We'll see through a couple of these that they just become like folk, like lovable creatures, I guess. Even if this one is literally just like a little devil.
He's just a little devil guy. The other one's a little hedgehog goblin. This is a little devil guy.
Man, this one's a tough one.
I'm going all in on puckwudgie, 100%. No questions asked.
I want to do puckwudgie too, because I just like...
Because it's the correct choice.
I don't know about that. But I just really like Native American folklore a lot. Like, I think they have really cool cryptids and legends.
Oh, so are you going with the puckwudgie? Cut out for a little bit.
I think I'm gonna go with the puckwudgie too. But it was also a very... I mean, you can, if you want, you can try to sway me to the other side.
I'm not gonna sway you over to the Nain Rouge. I think the puckwudgie... Why did it not mark the puckwudgie as the winner? Did I click the wrong one? No, it seems like we're good. Okay. Sorry, this bracket is set up very oddly. Nope. Okay, Pukwudgie takes round 3.
So I'm talking
Round
about
4, we have the Hopkinsville Goblins
goblins.
and the Beast of Busco.
I might be a little biased this round because I like goblins. Of
So,
any
how do you feel
form.
about goblins who are also maybe aliens?
That's pretty good.
Because that's what we're talking about here.
All right, give me the details.
So,
I don't know. The beast.
so like I said, there's not a ton. There's not a ton about the actual creature here. The Kelly Hopkinsville encounter, or the McKelly Green Man case, is actually, I guess, a pretty well-known UFO sighting / encounter. Even though it basically boils down to some people coming down to the police, saying they had a gunfight with some aliens on the farm. The police go over to the farm. They find no real evidence other than some bullet holes at the farmhouse. And the families who lived on the farm were gone by the next morning, claiming that the creatures had returned in at 3 a.m. So they were the original 3 a.m. challenge. A lot of the skeptics just think it was owls and that the farmers were drunk enough to think it was aliens. They were also reported a meteor in the sky, which may have led to even more confusion. And it's listed by Project Blue Book, the government study of unexplained aerial phenomenon. I don't know why I put an F when phenomenon is spelled with a P, but it's listed as a hoax with no further comment, so that means it's probably real. But there's a cute little. I used to have these too. The cards that the Hopkinsville Goblin
I
picture
had
is
that
from.
too.
Definitely had. I
It was
definitely
like a book
had
fair
these.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you signed up for them. I remember I had a ton of them, and then I gave them to my nephews or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, I had the
But now I kind of wish I
because
still
they had a
them.
book and then they had cards.
Yeah.
I love.
I have one of those cards in my calculator case for Yu-Gi-Oh. I have a Loch Ness Monster one.
Okay, we gotta see it.
Forgot that I showed those to everybody.
I wish we had a way to show this to everybody.
I mean, you could take a picture.
Because
You could take
I for some reason, I guess we could put it in the Instagram post or whatever. But yeah, no, I use this for a field center in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
I forgot about that, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So the next thing we have is the Beast of Busco, which, according to Indiana folklore, the Beast of Busco is an enormous snapping turtle. I've been sinking progressively lower in my seat and I need to sit up. In 1898, a farmer named Oscar Folk claimed to have seen a giant turtle living in the 7-acre lake on his land near Churubusco, Indiana. He told some people about it, but eventually just kind of dropped it. Half a century later, 2 other people, Oro Blue and Charlie Wilson, reported seeing a giant turtle, estimated to weigh 500 pounds, while fishing on the lake, which had become known as Folk Lake, named after the original owner. In 1949, a reporter from Fort Wayne sent out a story that made the turtle nationally famous. Mobs of curious sightseers invaded the land, now owned by Gail Harris, forcing the state police to call in for traffic control. Harris attempted to find and capture the turtle, now known as Oscar, named after the previous owner of the farm. And all of his attempts kind of really oddly ended. On one occasion, he tried to pump all of the water out of the lake into a different area that was dammed off, but just as they got most of the water out, the dam broke.
Coincidence.
And another time, exactly, I don't know. Another time, they attempted to send a deep sea diver into the lake, but the wrong equipment got delivered to the farm, and they couldn't do that. But the attempts cost Harris a lot of money, and he had to sell the farm. So we'll never know. But Oscar's memory does live on. Churubusco has an annual Turtle Days festival each June, which we just missed. It includes a parade, a carnival, and turtle races. There's also a small concrete statue of a turtle on the sidewalk of the main intersection of the town. Also, I'm pretty sure it said that they've renamed the town Turtle Town.
Big if true.
I vote for the Beast of Busco.
Oh, it's their unofficial name is Turtle Town. Okay. All right. Ooh,
Yeah,
we're gonna have a showdown. I feel like.
the Beast of Busco.
Okay, so how big is
It
it?
said like 500 pounds.
500 pounds, and if you look at this really badly rendered picture, that's just a big snapping turtle next to a deer.
Way more than 500 pounds right there. But 500-pound snapping turtle, like, dude, that could fuck you up. That could chomp you in half, easy. Imagine just swimming imagine just swimming in a lake, just having a good old time, and then all of a sudden, just like your leg's gone.
So you cut out on my end entirely, but it's fine because I don't need to hear what you have to say. So hear me out. The fucking goblins are friendly. The turtle's gonna kill you. The goblins, you could hang out with the goblins. You could smoke cigarettes with the goblins. Give it beers. Make it
I don't want to see him sleeping with goblins.
Yeah, please,
like
Kissing
please don't have
goblins.
sex with the goblins.
I'm not gonna.
Ingratiating the goblins.
I don't want to have sex with the goblins. I want to hang out with the goblins. I want to learn their secrets. I want them to show me how to
Be a goblin.
goblin UFOs. No, I want to go inside the UFO. The goblins have UFOs. What does the turtle have? It's just a fucking turtle that's really
That
big.
can eat you.
You can do drugs with the goblins.
I can do drugs by
So-
myself. I'm just saying. You're swimming around.
Why would you do that? Why
Nope.
would you do that by yourself when you could do it with a goblin?
Okay, that's a fair point. I'm just saying, how insane would it be if you're just swimming around having a good time, and all of a sudden your leg's just fucking gone because the snapping turtle.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a good time. That doesn't sound like a great time. You know what sounds like a great
crazy.
time? Getting lit with a goblin.
You're not changing
Think
my
about
mind. This one's a winner, man.
All right, I can't be an impartial sider on this one, so we're gonna have to do a coin toss. Coin toss.
Well, I
not
want to
coin
know
toss.
which one you would pick. Yeah, and we don't have to go with that one.
I think they're both
Okay.
great. I think they're both awesome, so I can't choose. That's why I
Okay.
have to resort to a coin flip on this one.
Do we have a coin?
I flipped a virtual one, so somebody call it.
Quinn, you go.
Heads, because these goblins got a big ass head.
It was heads.
Fine. I'll respect
Goblin
the coin flip.
superiority.
I like the Beast of Busco a lot because I think the whole festival around it's really cool.
Yeah.
But the coin toss is
Their unofficial name is Turtle Town.
it's true.
Okay, so let's take the goblins to Turtle Town.
Good.
Hell yeah.
Take the goblins to Turtle Town and get turned.
Turn it into Goblin Town.
Get turned in Turtle Town.
Yeah.
So next up we have an old friend, the Loveland Frogman from Loveland, Ohio, and
Kinda
the
thick.
Tuttlebottoms Monster. So I'm not gonna say too much about the Loveland Frogman. If you want to hear me go into the full story, go listen to the episode I made about him about a year ago.
Some of our finest work.
Dude, this picture, he's got a fat ass.
That's what I was saying. He's
He's
kind
got a
of
dumpy
like
on him.
thick.
Yeah. Like, I got some feelings about this
Turtle
frog
dumpy.
right now. Like,
I guess the short version is that it's a human-sized frog that likes to hang out near this river in Loveland, Ohio. Sometimes people say he has a magic wand, and other people think he's just a big iguana that someone released into the river.
Yeah, you think he packing
He's
Schmeat,
definitely
though?
out there though, and I want to meet him someday.
You think he's packing Schmeat?
Dude, he's probably packing fucking like tube and a half of Schmeat.
it's not a wand he's holding,
Yeah.
man.
Dude, that's not sparks shooting out of that wand. That is bioluminescent fucking.
Okay, this is gonna sound weird, but like, what does a frog penis look like? Okay,
I don't
I
know.
couldn't
Like,
tell you. I don't think that's just something like a fun fact anybody
don't
would
wanna-
know.
John's Googling it, so I'm just going to talk about the Tuttle
All
Bottoms
right,
monster.
John's
in
getting
the
put on a
meantime.
watch list. We're going to talk about cryptids.
The Tuttle Bottoms monster is a swamp creature from north of Harrisburg, Illinois, usually described as ape-like and hairy, with a long snout similar to an anteater. The first report of the monster came on August 6, 1963. Quote, I think this is from an article. Quote, Saline County Sheriff James L. Thompson spent a busy night last night, starting at about 11 p.m. and ending about 4:30. The sheriff said he ran across a youth at Tuttle Bottoms at about 11 p.m. The young man was armed with a rifle and told Thompson there was a monster on the loose in the bottoms. He said it was 8 feet long, 4 feet high, and had a nose like an anteater. The young man put his rifle in his car and left, and later Thompson ran across about a dozen boys armed with shotguns and other weapons, all looking for the, quote, monster of the bottoms. Their sheriff soon dispersed the boys and sent them home. A local resident named Virgil Smith has told the paper that he believes the creature not to be a monster, but an actual animal released by the federal government that has long since died. Smith said that the monster was a hairy primate, stood on 2 legs, and was not scared of humans. He also claims that a former employee of the U.S. Department of Agriculture confided in him that the department had launched a private investigation into the Tuttle Bottoms monster.
I'm going to go with the Tuttle Bottoms monster.
Yeah. So I want to show you something. I have 2 pictures to show you. Okay. One's okay. Apparently, that's what a frog penis looks like.
Yo, he is packed.
Like if he's 6 foot tall, like dude, he's got schmeat. But look at this jacked ass frog.
That's basically a Loveland frog, man.
Holy shit!
Those like frog titties? I
Like
mean, no, I
pecs.
guess it can't be. Mammals are the only ones with
Like,
titties, huh?
Pecs, man, just fucking ripped.
Can't milk a
Fucking
reptile.
benching. Just got some mommy milkers on that frog.
Frog milk, yum.
Big froggy milkers.
But back to this round. I would go with the Tuttle Bottoms monster. It looks really cool. I like the anteater thing.
It also
It's
like
killing me here, but I'll respect the vote.
I know
it,
how much.
dude.
I know
It took on like fucking 12 dudes with shotguns and shit, and like they weren't even able to kill it.
Like I wanted. You shouldn't have matched up the Frogman with him.
Yeah, I feel like this was a bad pairing.
I seeded it
Oh.
randomly, so that's just the way
Yeah,
the dice
like
fell.
because some of these, if it was laid out different, I definitely would have picked a lot of the other ones over other things. But like,
That's fair.
Yeah.
But that's like I definitely randomized it for that exact
because
reason.
it makes it hard. Like some of these
Yeah.
are definitely hard.
All right, Tuttle Bottoms monster. I love you, Loveland Frogman.
So, is the Loveland Frogman the one that we were talking about? Isn't real, or is it the other one?
No, well, we'll get there. It's the other one.
Okay, it's the other one.
So the next 2 I don't really have pictures for. The first one is the Crosley monster. It's basically just a Bigfoot spotting in Crosley, Indiana, who scared some campers and hunters in 2006 or something. It's about as imaginative as it sounds, but it's big if true. Maybe we have our own Bigfoot in Indiana. And the next one in round 6 is the Thunderbird, which is a pretty well-known like Native American cryptid / myth. It's a giant bird whose wings cause claps of thunder and its eyes flash lightning. They're mainly thought to be from the Pacific Northwest, but the legend persists across multiple tribes across the Midwest as well. It's labeled, I think I found it in a list labeled as North Dakota, but like I feel like it's just a general Native American legend that spread like through tribes. So
I remember the Thunderbird from, oh God, what is that stupid show that it was like the
Brother Bear.
It was like a recreation show of like cryptids and stuff. I think it was
are you thinking of that the show called The Lost Tapes?
maybe.
It was on Animal
Yeah,
Planet.
it was on Animal Planet.
I think it's the
It
Lost
might be
Tapes.
that. And they had an episode on this, and I remember them talking about how it picked up a little girl and like flew away.
Yeah.
And it was like huge.
There's another one later that's
That's the way it
kind of
goes.
very
And
similar from
just-
Illinois.
It is what it
Just
is.
because I remember that episode, I want to go with the Thunderbird. And there's a little bit more known about it.
I'm gonna go
Yeah,
with
the
the.
Crosley monster is big. Oh,
I'm going with the Thunderbird as well, just because like fucking Sasquatch. Really, we got enough Sasquatch in the world.
we'll get a few more. I didn't realize until I was like deep into this list. I was like, oh, a couple of these are just Sasquatches.
Yeah, like back to Quentin's point earlier, like it's just not very creative. You know, like
Thunderbird, it is.
It's true. Can't blame you on that one. So, the next round is where one of our old friends comes in again.
Yeah, I remember.
So, the Hodag is also one we've kind of talked about when we reviewed the movie Backwoods Bloodbath: Curse of the Black Hodag,
Classic.
in which the Brent wanted his dogs. Basically, the Hodag's a creature with, quote, the head of a frog, the grinning face of a giant elephant, thick short legs set off by huge claws, the back of a dinosaur, a long tail with spears at the end, from Rhinelander, Wisconsin. It's real, but it was also proven to be a hoax by a huckster named Eugene Shepard, who claimed to have killed one Hodag with dynamite and captured another when he and several bear wrestlers placed chloroform on the end of a long stick, fed it into a cave, and knocked the Hodag out.
Okay.
He also, like, this isn't in the show notes, but he also put it on display at, like, the local fair, but it was really clear to everyone there that, like, he was just, like, pulling strings on a puppet and making it rear up whenever someone got close, which worked on people because it was, like, the fucking early 1900s. But then, like, I feel like there was, like, an investigation so somebody came in and was like, no, this is fake. I think it was someone from the Smithsonian, actually, if I remember the article right.
Well, that's no fun.
But anyway, the Hodag's cool. It's real. It's
the movie's
out there.
amazing.
The next one is another Bigfoot variant with maybe the best picture from the blog post I found this one on, which it's just colored pencil.
Yeah, it's very bad.
Called the Farmer City Monster. It's just another Bigfoot variant from Illinois. Like I said with the last one, there's not really a lot to say about it. It scared some campers and it was never captured on camera or anything, despite it being in the 70s. So, it's also called the Salt Creek Monster, but I wouldn't suggest Googling that. There was a fairly notorious assault and sexual assault case in Australia, and they called the guy the same thing. So
if you
wouldn't recommend a
so if
Google
you're
on
into
that
true
one.
crime, maybe look it up.
Yeah, maybe look at that one up, but just the very brief part of the article I read, I was like, oh Jesus, all right. So we
I'm going
with,
Hodag.
Hodag.
Yeah, I'm going with my boy.
Yeah, I figured. I just thought it was interesting that there's big feet across the country, so I kind of threw a couple of them in.
No, for sure. Hodag.
I mean, everybody knows Bigfoot's
next
real.
we have Bigfoot's real and you ate my ass.
Yeah.
Next we have the green-clawed beast, which I've kind of alluded to before, and we'll see why. On August 21st, 1955, Mrs. Darwin Johnson claimed she was grabbed around the knee by a large, hairy, claw-like hand while swimming in with a friend in the Ohio River near Evansville, Indiana. After a struggle, Johnson was able to free herself from the monster and return to shore. She was treated for multiple contusions on her leg, at which point a green palm print-shaped stain was found on her leg. The stain could not be removed for several days. There's a fun idea I found on the website I was looking up these, that was just a Loveland frogman coming down the river. Although the frogman's never been violent, he just kind of likes to cast little spells in the air. So
maybe this was a different Loveland frogman. Maybe there's multiple.
Oh, that's true. I would love to believe that there are.
They're like lizard people.
Also, another weird.
They're everywhere. They're in the
Yeah.
government.
Also, another weird little, like, I hope. The government would be better if there were more Loveland frogmen. Also, a weird little footnote is apparently, take it with a huge grain of salt, an Air Force colonel came to visit Johnson, took extensive notes on the encounter, and then told her never to talk about it again. Aliens? I don't know. Could be.
Maybe.
It's also worth mentioning that the film The Creature from the Black Lagoon came out literally a year before this, and I'm sure that has nothing to do with it at all.
I don't think so. I don't think there's any connection between the two.
Also, Next up we have maybe the worst picture I have on the list.
I think you mean the best.
The Michigan Dog Man. It's what it sounds like. It's a man with a dog or a wolf's head. It's only really famous because a local disc jockey, Steve Cook, wrote a song about the sightings. It's basically just the Beast of Bray Road, but in Michigan. It's just a wolf man or a wolf walking like a man. I think I've heard about I'm thinking of Dogman's Bridge. That's a myth around
That's
here,
what
right?
that's what I remembered too.
I guess I could have put him on the list, but anyway, yeah. So that's all there is for this round. Again, some of these are really weak, and my research went downhill very fast when I started realizing how boring some of these are.
I think my vote's got to go with Green Clawed Beast.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, Green Clawed Beast.
The fact that a government official told someone not to talk about it that means it's
that's
real.
That's where you got me. That's where you got me.
I'm convinced.
Yeah.
I think
Fair
that one's the
enough.
better one.
Okay, so next we go back up to the top, and we have the Piazza, who I'll describe in a minute, and the Beast of Bray Road.
Okay.
So the Piazza is kind of just another Thunderbird, but this one, there's like carvings of the mural, which is like the picture I have in the thing is kind of a drawing of those murals. They're like there's some like carved into like cliffs and stuff around, like I think it's like North Dakota maybe, or somewhere like one of those more mountainous Midwest states. But there's like I think there's carvings of it all across the country. But apparently it's mainly known in Illinois for some reason, this specific one, the Piazza. But it was said to hunt fishers and other people who came near the Mississippi and Illinois rivers. So that kind of... That's what I was talking about when I said there's one later on, Thunderbird, who snatched up people.
I'll be honest with you. I'm going to have to go with the Piazza.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for any kind of cryptid that, like, doesn't look like it should have a human's face, but it does.
Yeah.
Like, this one has, like,
Alright.
the body of, what, like a... eagle?
I don't even know, like a lizard with eagle wings.
I'm also...
It does not look like it should have a human face, but it does, and I love that.
I'm
so
also a sucker
go with
for
that.
flying cryptids, so I'm going to agree.
Okay, Piazza wins out over the Beast of Bray Road. And then we're gonna go. So a couple of these I'm gonna describe, and then it'll move on to just going back through the things. So the next one is a relatively recent sighting that may not even be a cryptid. It's just kind of like a creepy story. The Crawling Man of Michigan City. It was spotted in the summer of 2012. Like I said, it might not be a cryptid, but it was strange, and I like the story, so it's here on the list. Feel free to discredit it for that, but I also found it on the website National Cryptid Society, which I kind of love that website exists. They have like they have like articles about every big cryptid, it seems, and even like user-reported ones like this. But quote, the story goes that, quote, in the middle of summer, heat lightning and flashing over the lake, several friends and I were at this dude's beach house. It wasn't very late, maybe an hour or two after sunset. We all went out onto the second story back deck to smoke. I was watching the lightning. The house was only a few hundred yards away from the shore, but the walk to the beach takes minutes because of the grassy dune between it and the shore. A couple of us noticed a light beam from a flashlight coming over the dune. It was scanning It was scanning the grass like they were walking around or possibly looking for something. Most people on the beach at night don't use lights. It's actually pretty bright all night on Lake Michigan after your eyes get used to it. The light sweeps by something in the grass and then shines back onto it. What was illuminated was very strange. It appeared to be a naked guy crawling around on the grass. Although it had elongated arms and legs, it was moving kind of fast and crunched over. It only lasted a few seconds, long enough for all of us to see it. Then, after the thing ran off, the flashlight shines directly at us. It stayed pointed at us until it went out after a few seconds. Creepy. So we were all like, what the fuck? We asked each other what we saw. We all saw a weird, stretched out naked guy. I wanted to go down there. I wanted to see if we could find it, but no one would go, and they were creeped out, and I wanted to go back inside. I was very disappointed, but I wouldn't go alone. I still regret it. So there's some fun explanations listed on the NCS website, which range from, it was the rake, or it could be someone suffering from Marfan syndrome, which like a lot of weird legends are about that, and it's kind of like, again, like the Melonhead's kind of problematic of people with like real illnesses, but
well, that's one of the things.
That's the thing with Slender Man.
Yeah, that's
right?
one of the things with the rake too, is that could be a explanation as well with the Marfan syndrome. Because I did a thing on the rake back when me and Joey and Carly did a podcast together, but that's exactly what I thought of when you were reading it. I was like, this sounds just like the rake, and the rake scares the shit out of me. It does. I swear, every time I read the goddamn story and look at the pictures, I don't know why I love it. And I also like look out my window. I'm like, this thing's gonna crawl into my room. Like, I know it.
So this one's versus the Pukwudgie, right?
Yeah, this is a hard one.
No, this is an easy one.
You're gonna go with Pukwudgie.
So if you're actually, okay, think about it. It's Michigan City.
Same reason you didn't vote for the Melonheads?
It's Michigan City, right? It's Michigan City. So knowing the area, there's some pretty wacky and wild people out there. It's not a cryptid. It was somebody playing night crawlers.
It was somebody strung out playing night crawlers on the beach.
Yeah, it was just a normal person. And then the person with the flashlight. No. It's just somebody playing night crawlers.
Okay, so we have a vote for the Pukwudgie. John?
I'm going with Crawling Man.
Okay.
It's something weird about elongated limbs and the gross crawling nature that just it gives me the heebie-jeebies, and I love it and I hate it. And
if we wanted to be fair, I will toss a coin again, but I would also go with the Crawling Man.
Oh.
I mean, we could do a coin if you want, Quentin.
You're like godless heathens.
You want me? I'll flip a coin if you want. It's up to you.
You could win again.
We could win. The Pukwudgie could go forward.
Okay. John will call this one.
Okay.
Tails.
It's Tails.
Dang.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Crawling Man. More like dumb guy. Am I right?
Are you expecting people to be listening to us and be like, yeah?
Everybody
Yeah,
agrees with me.
He tells it how it is. Next, we have the Jackalope versus the Hopsfiggenville Goblins. So, the Jackalope's kind of like a legendary creature of U.S. folklore, I guess. They're basically just rabbits with like antelope antlers.
Okay, I want to preface this. It's for a very large portion of my life, I thought jackalopes were a real creature.
I probably did too, if we're being honest.
Not like it's not like I was an adult. I was like, oh, those are real. But like, I definitely would say into my teenage years, I was still convinced that a jackalope was a real thing.
I see. The fact is, I can't remember when I realized that they weren't.
I believed in jackalopes a lot longer than Santa. That's for sure.
I think I was the
I
one
probably
who
did
told
too.
John that jackalopes weren't real, if I'm being honest. Okay, so
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure I am because my neighbors at my parents' house on their front porch, they had like a lawn
yeah.
decoration of a jackalope. And I think John said something about it one time, and then I said something about how they were fake. Or I think I made a joke about it. I was like, but that one's a real one. And John's like, wait, they're not real? I think I was the one who shattered your reality there, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, that might be right. I kind of remember. Yeah. Anyways, I
think we can give him.
I still go back and forth. Like I'm still like,
we'll give him a fair shake.
yeah, I still think that it's a real thing.
There's a lot of legends that kind of seem to be tongue-in-cheek or like jokes from the time, like telling hunters to wear stovepipes on their legs so they wouldn't get gored by the jackalope, or selling jackalope milk, only for, and I kid you not, the New York Times to question the authenticity of the milk based on how dangerous jackalopes were known to be when milking them.
See? They're real. I'm telling you.
Certain legends say that jackalopes imitated human voices, and cowboys sometimes heard them singing along with them in the night, usually as a tenor. It's also said that jackalopes can only breed during lightning flashes, and that their antlers make it difficult to do despite the hare's reputation for fertility.
And
yeah, I'm gonna have to.
This is going up against.
I'm gonna have to go with my goblins.
This is going up against the goblins.
I'm gonna have to go with my goblins.
Yeah,
I'll go with the goblins.
Because
I know
the jackalope's cool, but it's like baby's first cryptid. You know,
yeah,
these goblins got some essence to them.
I do really like jackalopes though. And I'm still like mildly convinced that at one point they were real. Like it's like the dodo bird. Like at one point maybe they were.
I remember
the dodo bird was definitely real.
Yeah, this could have been.
I remember they were. I don't remember if it was a mission or not, but I remember they were a thing you could like. It was a super rare and like expensive pelt you could get in Red Dead Redemption 1.
For the jackalope.
Yeah. I don't remember why that stands out to me.
I'll go with the goblins though. The goblins are a little cooler.
Okay. So next we have the Ohio Grassman versus the Tuttle Bottoms monster. The Ohio Grassman is apparently just Ohio's Bigfoot. The only real distinction is that the Grassman apparently sets up little huts and dens made of grass, giving it its name. Again, there's not a ton to say here about this one. They're big, stinky, and look like ape men. Standard Bigfoot variant, avoided at all costs. There was a very funny comment I found on the Cryptids wiki, though. Quote, "Fuck this Bigfoot-looking creature. He kill a dog called German Shepherd. Because its neck is broken when or while the beasts kill him, it's actually a police dog." I don't know what that means. I don't remember seeing anything about a dog in the article. But then someone replies and goes, "He did not kill no dog, as he's not real."
I wouldn't be so quick to throw that out. I think it might be real.
I'm gonna go with the Tuttle Bottom monster because whether that statement is true or false, kill a German Shepherd. I don't like it.
So how do you feel about Will Smith?
Well, that's what I named.
I'll go
that's
with
what
the
I
Tuttle
named
Bottom
Sam
monster.
after.
Yeah, I know. I forgot about that until I said it. What'd you say, Quinn?
Tuttle Bottom.
Yeah.
Tuttle Bottom.
Yeah. I think it's just a
Tuttle
cooler
Bottoms
monster in general. Like the anteater thing is just kind of goofy for around here.
Also, the bracket is not updating for me.
Yeah, and me neither, but it's okay.
I don't have a save button for this. Oh, I do, but it says it's saved. Even if you refresh, it doesn't change?
Yeah, I've been refreshing.
Weird.
You'll just have to
Okay,
remind us what we're talking
I'll
about.
remind you guys what's going through.
because now it'll get kind of hard to keep track.
Yeah. So the next one is, I'm probably going to butcher this one because it's like a very Native American word. Meshekenabek. Meshekenabek. Apparently it's the Loch Ness Monster, but in Rochester, Indiana, which is kind of close to us, actually. It lives in Lake Manitou, and there's a few sightings from, like, way back. And, like, I think it was, like, either the early 1900s or the late 18. A hunt was started, but eventually led to nothing, as most of the hunts do. Some think it was a Native American water spirit, while they think it was, like, a lake serpent that, you know, like a lot of other lake serpents around the world, just kind of, like, migrated from the ocean as sea levels fell.
He's got my vote, I'll be honest with you. The Meshekenabek is...
Oh, he's versus the Green Claw Beast.
Meshekenabest.
I agree. He's definitely cooler than the
is...
Green Claw Beast.
Well, considering the Green Claw Beast was... No
I didn't really...
Here. Definitely wasn't made up.
Yeah, it was... Yeah.
Okay.
So, good news, I don't have to describe any more of these weird fucks, and we can just lightning round through to the end. There could be a little bit of debate, but that's alright. Let's get it. So, next round we have the Piazza versus the Mud Mermaids.
Piazza. Easy.
I'm still going to go with the Mud Mermaids.
Ooh, okay. Coin toss, who wants to call it?
Quentin Stern.
I'll go Tails because the Piazza's got a pretty cool tail.
It was
Alright.
Tails.
That's fair. I'll go with it.
Yeah.
Crawling Man of Michigan City versus the Hopkinsville Goblins.
Goblins.
This is going to be
Crawling
The fucking goblins, dude.
Alright, John, call it. Okay, let me... I flipped it 3 times just to make sure it wasn't broken, and it's come back tails every time. So
that's fine.
The goblins.
I respect
prevail.
the coin toss. It's fine. It's a 50-50 chance.
yeah, I just wanted to, like, it kept doing it, so I wanted to make sure it wasn't broken, but it kept coming back. So
Tim's cheating for me, actually. Tim's just like, the crawling man, come on. Click it. Heads.
I wish. We got the Tuttle Bottoms monster versus the Thunderbird.
Tuttle Bottom.
Yeah.
We already have a Thunderbird. We have the better
Hodag
Thunderbird.
versus-
Yeah, we have a better Thunderbird already, so.
Or wait,
The
no,
Hodag
didn't you
versus
vote for
the-
you voted for the fucking Mud
I
Mermaids?
did, but I'm not going to say that the Piazza is not cooler than the fucking Thunderbird. Like, I'll agree with you on that. If they end up being in the last, round, I'll give you that one's
Okay.
cooler.
Okay.
I think the Thunderbird already got outvoted out, didn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
just now, right? Wait, did it?
Yeah.
Now? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, just now it did. So we got the Hodag versus the Meshekenabek.
Meshekenabek.
Yeah. Tim doesn't like that. I can see his
Fair
face.
enough.
He's like, no, fuck this.
I'll let it go. The Hodag's cool, and it was a funny movie, but I guess that's really all there is. And I did say it's a verified fake, so...
I think it's cool to think of it as a giant water serpent spirit. Not if
Yeah,
you
I
don't
would
think of it
agree.
as the Loch Ness monster and think of it as the water spirit, I think it's cooler.
It's pretty tight.
So now there's going to be a big showdown in Quentin's head. We got the Piazza versus the Hopkinsville
Ooh.
Goblins.
You know what? Before you answer, I'll go with whatever you want. Like whatever you...
That's no
Yeah,
fun.
like I won't... I'm leaving this round all up to you.
All right, so my criteria for this one: who has a funnier head?
The Piazza.
And
Ooh, that's a
I
rough
think
one.
Piazza does.
if
That's your criteria.
see, I was gonna say that the Goblin has a funnier head.
Really?
Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, like, okay, so the Piazza's got a human face where it shouldn't be, but it's still just kind of like a normal human face, whereas this guy, he's got some bug eyes, he's got like a billion sharp little teeth, ears the size of funnel cakes.
Got into a gunfight with some drunk hillbillies.
What's cooler than that? Yeah, I'm going with the goblins.
All right. I like I said at the beginning, whatever you want to go for in this one. Because these were both ones that you fought for. And one coin
That's
and
true.
one coin tosses for. So
Yes.
So next one we have Tuttlebottom's monster versus the Meshakennebec.
Pull up a picture of the Tuttlebottom monster.
man, I really like the Tuttlebottom monster. But I also
Oh.
really like this one's the hard one.
I think my money's on the Tuttlebottom. I'm all in on the anteater.
I love the anteater aspect.
I'm gonna go with that. Yeah, Tuttlebottom all day.
Okay, we have one vote for the Tuttlebottom, John.
I'm gonna go Tuttlebottom. The anteater thing is just
okay,
great.
Tuttlebottom. It's very
Yeah, like,
unique.
It's just a weird one to make a legend out of in the Midwest. Because like
It's true.
the Loch Ness Monster thing, I feel like anywhere there's a decent sized lake, I'm sure someone's tried to say, "Oh, there's a Loch Ness Monster." But how many people are like, "Oh fuck, there was an anteater in fucking Gary"?
A 7 foot tall.
Yeah, a
anteater,
7 foot tall.
nonetheless.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going with Tuttlebottom. And the name is just fucking great. Like it makes me think that he wears a monocle and a top hat and he's just the nicest fucking dude. Like he's just like, "Hey, would you like to have some tea?" And you're like, "Oh fuck, you're a talking anteater."
No,
So now it comes down to it. Hopkinsville Goblins versus Tuttlebottom Monster. We're at the finals.
Oh my
this is a
God.
tough one for me.
We're already at the finals.
Because on one
Okay.
hand, you could party with the goblins, right? You could befriend them that way. On the other hand, you could befriend the Tuttlebottom monster, and like you could like essentially like, you know, it could be like a Pokemon. It's like a fully evolved Pokemon.
It's like a giant,
Which is pretty
It's
sick.
like
Yeah.
not Cyndaquil. Well, yeah, but the evolved version.
Heatmore. There's actually kind of like a Pokemon. It's literally like a 7 foot tall anteater, but it like lives in volcanoes.
I'm going that.
Okay, so
I'm on Tuttlebottom.
Okay.
That's where my
We
vote
got one
is.
for Team Tuttlebottoms.
but on the other hand, the goblins know how to use guns.
But are they goblins? Because there is controversy if they're aliens. And to me, they need to decide. And then maybe I'll vote for 'em. Because the anteater knows it's a 7 foot tall anteater.
Well, how do we not know that like all goblins are aliens? Like, how do we not know that's like a subsect of alien?
Suppose we don't,
Yeah.
because considering that like every other cryptid, there's like it could be an alien.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you that.
I guess I'll go fucking Tuttlebottom.
Okay,
Right.
I was gonna say we could always just bring it down to a coin toss at the last and the finals, but
You can't have the finals be decided by a coin toss.
I did it earlier too. It's fine.
Good
Words.
old
All right.
toss.
Tuttle Bottom's monster takes it home. For where's it from? Harrisburg,
Hell
Illinois.
yeah. Right, neighbors.
The official beast of the Midwest.
The Midwest beast. Oh man.
You can. We'll get some shirts made.
The Midwest beast.
That could be we could do merch eventually when we have enough listeners and do the Midwest beast and do a picture of the
Just
Tuttle
a
Bottom
fucking anteater.
fucking anteater.
Hell yeah.
It'd be great. I feel like people wouldn't even listen to our
yeah.
podcast, but they'd be like, "That's a fucking dope shirt. I'll buy one off of you guys."
I don't want them to think it's dope. I want them to look at it and be like, what the fuck is this? This is stupid. I'm going to buy it.
It's the Midwest beast.
I want it to be so dumb. That's why people buy it.
I agree. I think that's great.
Can I know you said this was the first annual. Can we actually slate this in for every year?
I mean,
Like we'll do like different regions.
We can do it. We can. Yeah, I was gonna say we'd have to do different regions because this was literally like all of the interesting ones I could find out in the Midwest.
Because then we could do all the
let's do all the different regions and then like just national championships.
We could do all the regions of America. Then we'll do a showdown for the United States, and then afterwards.
See, the only problem is like when we do like the whole United States, like that's when we're gonna get to like the big guys, and like does the Tuttle Bottom monster really hold a candle to the Mothman? Yeah, maybe.
I guess that's why we would have. Well, that's if the Mothman even comes out highest of the East Coast.
There could be ones that we've never heard of.
South or whatever West Virginia is considered.
There could be even better goblins out there.
There could be goblins that win a showdown.
I'd have to talk about that weird dude who's just the weird cryptid who's just a dude who shows up.
We could even have a whole goblin showdown.
Goblin showdown. I don't want to see him in bed with goblins. Ingratiating himself with goblins.
Oh my god, they're eating him, and now they're gonna eat me.
Oh god.
Those are trolls, though, right?
The town of.
No, they're goblins, right?
I don't know. The town was named Nilbog, which is goblin backwards.
It was trolls, the two, but in the movie they called them goblins.
But I'm pretty sure they even called them goblins.
They never once called them trolls. Just from the movie. Oh my god, yeah, that's great. We should do different regions and then do a whole United States showdown, and then we can move on to like Canada or something.
I would love that. I would love nothing more.
Because then we could...
We're officially rebranding to a Cryptid cast.
Just a Cryptid Showdown.
I would love that too, but I feel like we would eventually run out of content, so we'd have to like do each individual. Like,
we'll just start making up our own cryptids.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
if we started right now, by the time we get through all the cryptids, we could have a fuck ton more, and then never run out.
I mean, we could talk about that's actually the one, isn't it? The Mekele Membe is it's like African or something, right? Mekele Membe. Is they even spelled right? Oh, the Mekele Membe. Mekele Mabembe. It's from the Congo, I think, right? Yeah.
Just
like a big. It's basically just a sauropod or a patasaurus.
yeah, this would be great to do every year.
Hell yeah. All right. You ran kind of long this one, but let's do plugs and then we can call it.
Yeah. I'll go first, I guess. You can find me at jmergs. Gonna be pushing out some content here and there. I'm actually this weekend on Saturday I'm recording me and my buddy Jordan are gonna start a video podcast called Socks and Scandals. So be on the lookout for that. And
What is this about?
Baseball.
no. It's just us sitting down and reading we're gonna like read stupid shit off of like Reddit and talk about stupid like life stories and do like dating advice, and it's just a giant satire of a like talk show, really. And the whole premise is that we're gonna wear goofy socks with sandals like every episode.
Okay.
See, I thought this was going to be like a baseball controversies
Oh.
podcast, exclusively focusing on the red and white
No.
Sox.
I don't like baseball.
What a shame.
Yeah, I don't like baseball.
We need more sports
No.
podcasts.
I agree.
But yeah, there's that. And other than that, I've just been working on stuff for this podcast, so hopefully we have some more content pushed out from here here in the next couple weeks. And as we do, I will post about it and let everyone know.
You can find me on Letterboxd at Timmy C. I wrote a review fairly recently, or did I just review a movie? I don't remember if I just gave a movie stars or if I. Oh, I reviewed the new Gundam movie on Netflix, which isn't going to be everyone's thing, but it's a cool thing for me considering. I didn't rewatch. I watched all of the series over like 2 years with a buddy of mine recently, so. You can also find me at Hot Pink Waffles on like Instagram and Twitter. I say it every week, but T-Jams on Twitch, TEAJAMZ. I swear I'll start streaming one day. And I'm thinking about starting a YouTube. Just doing like I don't know if I'm gonna do movie reviews or like I've been thinking about doing a series, and I don't know if I've talked about it on here, where I watch all of Nicolas Cage's movies where he's the starring role.
Yeah.
Yeah, in production order, called Nicolas Cage Match. And I keep toying with this idea, and I want to do it, but I also don't want to get my channel nuked for copyright immediately.
I mean, if you do it
So,
good, like Elvis the Alien has with Nick Cage movies.
yeah, we kind of just get cut up the trailers, but like for some of them, I feel like it's going to be harder to
I think
get
you'd be
around.
alright. I feel like a lot of Nick Cage movies,
Yeah.
I feel like you have to worry about, I don't know. I feel like if you did it, you might get demonetized here and there, like for a few of them. But I don't think you'll get like copyright struck enough to fuck you up.
Also, part of the reason I didn't do the episode is there's a biography that I want to try and get, but it's like $15 used on Amazon because I think it was super short print. But in the early 2000s, he had a biography written about him called Uncaged. And if only they knew how much more it would get.
They should.
And I want to track down a copy, but it's like I feel like it's going to be expensive to buy.
They should write
so.
another one now that's called Completely Uncaged.
God, I would love that. I would love nothing. I would love that so much, but I don't think. I mean, maybe if they paid him. If they paid him, maybe.
In like 10 years, when like he goes like fully like insane, they could do seriously Completely Uncaged. Like seriously. Like now he's like real. Do a trilogy.
So, Quinn?
You can find me on Twitter at Gondola Driver, Twitch/Boxwine. If I'm ever online, just ask me questions about Gnostic Christianity.
Yeah, when are you gonna do?
So I can talk about Abraxas.
When are you gonna do an episode?
Do it next week.
You want me to do an episode on Gnostic Christianity?
Yeah, we'll get deep.
Why not?
This, you know what?
I mean, I could.
At this point, we'll okay. I was reading, I've been working on stuff for the podcast and stuff, and I was reading like our little thing on Spotify or whatever, and it's like pop culture, like movies, comics, and like cringe internet or weird internet stuff. Like that definitely falls on. Like if we just go full like weird internet and then sprinkle in whatever topics, we can do whatever the fuck we want at this point. Who cares? As long as it's
That's why I left it open as I did when I wrote that, is because
yeah.
I mean, I can try my hardest.
We can
see.
We can do whatever we want at this point. And if people like it, people like it.
I mean, like, we'll try.
I've slowly stopped like caring a whole lot. Like I want this podcast to do good. You know what I mean? But I also more so have come to the, that I'm like, I just want to have good time with you guys and bullshit.
Yeah. That's always been my philosophy behind stuff like this, is like, first and foremost, I just want to have fun. And if people like that and have fun listening to us, have fun, so that's great.
Yeah.
That's even
like,
better.
that's why at the beginning when I was like, oh, let's just bullshit for 15, 20 minutes. It's just at the, it's like, screw it. Let's just have some fun, catch up, talk, and do whatever we want, because then it's more fun. And it's more natural.
Yeah.
Because I think I don't know. I like to think that I'm funny every now and then. Not that much. But I like to think that we're funny guys. And but I think we're funnier when we set each other up naturally. And we don't try to force it too much.
Unless like the point of the joke is
it's
that
forced.
It's like weird and unforced and uncomfortable. Like I was thinking, like I'm thinking of a video specifically of someone explaining Christian lore, which is a whole thing. And like the whole point of the video and the joke of the video is that he's putting on like a fake college lecture, and everyone's uncomfortable because of it, and that's the point. And that's very funny to me. So,
But
yeah, so do an episode on fucking. We'll just
keep your ears peeled. I'll tell you about how Jesus was really the snake.
Or do an episode on communism where we can talk about how no institute can start on good terms when it massacres an entire family to begin.
I don't know if I should talk about communism online. I feel like I'll get put on a list.
I mean, we already talked about 9/11 this episode, so.
No, we're already on the list. It's fine.
I mean, I feel like, I don't know, I'm on TikTok a lot, just scrolling around and shit. And there are so many people from either our generation or the generation after us that is just like very vocally communist anymore.
Because capitalism is piss.
Yeah, no, it is. And I would not say that I am like communist or whatever. I just, on paper, it's a great thing. And capitalism is just all around just a bad thing. So just see what happens.
I'm not saying Mao was right, but he did a couple things correctly.
Yeah, I'm not saying that Stalin wasn't a fucking despot who died of a fucking brain aneurysm, but he was good looking in his young age.
Very. And let's just end the episode on that.